Hey, what's going on, friends? My podcast every day is broken up into two parts on the free platform. The first part, Act 1, is right now. When it's all done, go right on over to Act 2 to get the second half of the podcast. Thank you so much for checking out my show. Hello. Welcome into the Eric St. Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures from right here in the Impact Power Sports studio. Impact Power Sports online at impactpowersportsmi.com. Fantastic place if you're interested in a side-by-side, an ATV, motorcycle, you name it. Golf cart. Yamaha golf carts are the best in the business, and they have them both electric and gas. If you're interested in an easy go golf cart, hello. And check them out online at impactpowersportsmi.com. The show is underway. Every so often, we have to acknowledge a special appearance, and I do it every time. Eric Nagel is here. I just saw recently that E-Rock appeared with Carl to discuss Opie attacking E-Rock. I can honestly tell everyone in the audience that E-Rock is probably the straightest shooter that exists on the planet. No one is more genuine that I know than E-Rock. I sometimes felt like when he was working with Opie and Anthony that he was like, oh my God, what am I doing here? Like, he was just so nice about everything. He was almost like an unwilling participant to all of the hijinks that went on. And that, I think, made it that much more stupendous. And for the longest time, E-Rock never said shit bad about anybody. And I don't think to this day that is, it's just not part of his makeup. So I don't understand why Opie would be attacking like Mr. Salt of the Earth. I don't know E-Rock nearly as well as some of the other players involved in all of that nonsense. But I don't know how anybody could be frustrated with our old pal Eric Nagel. E-Rock says it was like an old woman having a meltdown. Cole says, are you still holding Opie's life work for ransom, E-Rock? I guess that was part of what Opie was suggesting. Cole may have checked that out. I haven't even listened to it. I haven't had a minute to do anything, but all I read was the headline that you were on with Carl to discuss Opie. E-Rock says, I will be holding my own Burning Man if things continue. And he also points out that Darla and Bruce are adorable. I'm telling you, E-Rock's got the softest heart of anybody. Don't let his ripped physique fool you. He's a soft-hearted individual. Stevie is here. She writes, hijinks is such an underrated word. All right, I don't know if you've ever seen this. Totally different topic, but last night I'm laying in bed and I'm doing my usual routine of flipping around on things on the phone, winding down, if you will. And I noticed there was something on TikTok. I don't usually look at TikTok. I usually look at the reels on Facebook, but I stumbled onto live broadcasting on TikTok. And, every single one of these people that are on TikTok has 100 times my audience. I'm apparently doing it wrong. There was one guy who was on there, and he's showing us fishing lures. And he's not like saying anything. There's like 100,000 people watching it. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And so it's a little disheartening because it makes me feel like I'm just a huge pile of shit if I can't even get 50 people watching this show on Twitch, but whatever. I'm going to continue to fight the good fight. But one of the other things on there was an image, and the image was over a dude's face. And the image says, find these 4 things in the picture. I bet you can't find the 4th thing. And it's whatever. It's an animated, it's a drawing, of an old lady waking up, and the bed has fallen on her husband. You can see his feet and his arms sticking out of it. And it says, you got to find the 3 things: the apple, the egg, the ruler, and the book. So I found the first 3, and then I can't find the book. And then the guy is on there, and all he's saying is, okay, if you give me 10 donuts, I'll give you a clue. And then all of a sudden, after about 2 minutes, I realized I was invested in this thing. I'm like, well, I got to find where the fucking book is. And I must have watched this for 10 minutes before I finally broke free of it. And then, like on TikTok, there's that online currency. So you can give the guy 10 donuts and he's getting money, or whatever, a rocket ship. Not that different than what goes on here. And then he gives you a clue, and then it doesn't really tell you anything. So he kind of like sucks you in this asshole. And then lo and behold, I finally break free of it, and I could feel like my life essence being sucked out of me through my dick hole. I'm like, good God, this is fucking horrible. But yet I'm sitting here watching this, and he's just saying the same shit over and over again. He's like giving a shout out to people, and but it's nothing. It's one of the most mind-numbing things ever, and hundreds of thousands of people are watching it. I finally break free, and then after about 2 more flip-throughs on whatever the fishing lure guy and whatever the fuck, there's another one. It's a different dude, same script, different image, same concept. Find the 4 things. The first 3 are easy to find. The 4th one is harder to find, but apparently it's there, and the same guy saying the same goddamn thing. So this has to be human trafficking, right? This has to be people. I mean, they're not like doing it on their own. They have to be like part of like a group of people in like on Epstein's Island or something like that type of scenario. And they're paid like they're given $5 a day, or they don't get raped to do this shit online, and somebody's making all the money here. I very, very odd to me. But I had this horrible sensation of just low ebb energy from what I was witnessing, and in my own brain, I just felt it kind of rotting away my soul as I watched this fucking thing. My God. Tim Kuiper is here. He says, good morning. Hello, Tim. How is our little buddy Zeke? Matt says, we can play this game and give you Twitch bits. No. I remember when I got on Twitch and I was like, yeah, hey, guess what? And there's a fun thing you can do. And everybody's like, well, what is it, Easy? And I'm like, well, you just establish your own Twitch bits account and you put your money in. You're given like these little bits, and then you can give them to me. And then after I said that maybe once, I went, what the fuck is this? This is just another way to this is a way to rip people off. I shouldn't say another way, because I don't feel like I rip anybody off. But what a fucking scam that is. Jesus. Matt says EZ should do TikTok lives of cleaning up cat puke. I don't know why. and dog shit. He could do a 3-hour stream just doing that. All right. Yeah, that does happen. With 4 dogs in the house, you're bound to have a little bit of an issue. You better have one of those wet carpet extractors. Aram says, no, thanks. I support animal charities. I'm with you. I don't want you to do it. You should support animal charities. I don't ever look at myself as a charity. Okay? Molly says, I'll give you 10 bits. Or I think she did give me 10 bits. Please twerk now on the wall upside down. Yeah, bullshit. I'm not doing any of that. Nick is here. He writes something in Russian. All right. Anyway, I remember watching that last night thinking, I wonder if there's a way to bring this to the podcast. And there absolutely is, just discussing it about what people do there. Tim writes, Zeke is doing very well, very good. Unfortunately, it's been a rough week with my dad passing away Monday morning. Tim, I had no idea, brother. I am so sorry to hear that. May we provide a respite from the anguish and suffering that you are experiencing, my friend. I am so sorry about your family's loss. Amy says, I support Molly's request. Tyler says that request belongs on Cameo. Yeah, that's definitely what that needs. With Runner Girl Amy being here, Runner Girl Amy, I heard from our long-lost friend Hurricane Ashley today, and she indicated that she was talking to you today. She reached out, and it was a little odd, a lot of rando thoughts crossing her lips to me on the phone, and then a lot of texts, and almost seemed like, I don't know, did you get the impression that she might have been bombed? Did that thought cross your mind that perhaps there was some level of inebriation? I can't say for sure, nor would I, but I just had this sinking feeling at 9-something in the morning. Nick says, did we celebrate Flying Laptop Day? We did not. It kind of came and went. Tyler says, be careful, Easy. You're going to get her fired again. I did not get her fired in the first place. Well, anyway. Okay, I want to get into this story. You hear about this from time to time. People who might be a little bit old, might be a little bit dumb, and then they hear from someone who says that they are a movie star and that they are in love with a person who is a little bit old and a little bit dumb. That happened to a woman here in Michigan. That kind of started to happen to me. I'm a little old and a little dumb. One of my favorite performing artists is a guy that none of you have heard of named Ray Wiley Hubbard. And he's kind of low on the food chain, but he's an artist. Like famous artists love to perform with Ray Wiley Hubbard. And I commented on one of his Facebook posts, and then he got back to me. And I thought, oh, my God, I'm talking to Ray Wiley Hubbard. But then it dawned on me, this was not Ray Wiley Hubbard. It was someone pretending to be Ray Wiley Hubbard. And I think the next thing they were going to say to me is, hey, I'm right now recording in London, and I can't get back to the U.S. I need $50,000 because all my money is locked up. Can you send that along? I think that I was one message away from having that happen. That is what happened to this woman on the east side of Michigan. That would be Oxford, Michigan, where that horrible shooting took place, that school shooting. This woman got scammed by some dude that says she was, what the fuck is the celebrity's name? Mark Harmon? Yeah, actor Mark Harmon. Like, this chick thought that Mark Harmon was wanted to get married.
But we begin tonight with a woman from Oxford who said she was scammed out of her life savings by someone she thought she would marry. Welcome to 7 News Detroit at 6. I'm Carolyn Clifford.
And I'm Mike Duffy. Thank you so much for joining us. The woman tells us that she sold her car and her home and is out nearly $500,000 after giving everything to a scammer who convinced her that they were actor and NCIS star Mark Harmon. And tonight, we're learning this type of scam.
Okay. How is it that a person so dumb that would fall for this has cash and assets totaling nearly $500,000? That I think is a fair question and a mystery, that someone this stupid would have that much of an estate.
Is growing across the country.
7 News Detroit reporter Sarah Michaels is raising this woman's voice and sharing her heartbreaking story to find out what can be done to help her.
How do you feel looking back on those messages?
Sick to my stomach.
It's difficult not to tear up yourself seeing the pain and the honest turmoil that Sandy Selvin is in.
I'm surprised that, and then you add into it. I mean, this woman, let's be honest here. This is one of the ugliest people in the world. That this twisted old fruit would fall for this, thinking that a accomplished Hollywood actor would be interested in someone who looks like a fucking Saint Bernard fucking dog after it's been dead for 10 years.
And today,
I would have never, ever done anything to jeopardize my family for this. Never.
the 68-year-old woman from Oxford keeps to herself most days, tending to one of her adult sons who has special needs.
Oh, it gets worse. She's a caretaker.
Sons know?
Yeah. My son's sick over it. My other son won't even talk to me. He's like,
okay, so does anyone love this woman? Because they had to have known this was happening, you know? And when she corners him and says, hey, your stepdad's going to be Mark Harmon. Why doesn't someone take over, get involved?
I'm like, I don't know what happened, what this guy did to me.
The small family was happy until what started last April when Sandy got a message over Facebook.
This person was talking to me. I didn't think it was any big deal. I just talked for a few minutes. I didn't see really any harm at that point.
A relationship began, hundreds of messages a day. The person then asked Sandy to switch over to an app, Zangi, where they revealed their identity.
He portrayed
that's what the White House uses to talk about war plans.
himself as Mark Harmon.
Mark Harmon, the actor and NCIS star. With their identities revealed over the course of the next 10 months, the alleged Harmon would ask how Sandy's son was. He would tell her how much he loved her. He would talk about their wedding and being together. Just one thing stood in the way.
Well, he had told me that he was in Italy, that he was under a contract.
The person told Sandy that his money was tied up in California.
This makes me feel so fucking bad, and my God, I just can't believe that this happens. This is remarkable.
California. He just needed to.
I think that if you're this person here who is doing this, I mean, this is ghoulish shit. This is insanely awful.
Be loaned a couple $100,000 to pay his crew off, get home and get his own money. Then he would be able to come live with Sandy and her son. He said he had more than enough money to take care of them both. So Sandy started wiring who she thought was her future husband the money that he said he needed.
Overall, how much money did you give this individual?
He shouldn't have any of it. I think it was like a total of 400 and some, 475.
Okay. Nearly $500,000. Like she mortgaged the house, sold the car. I mean, she went all in. My God.
Sandy sold her car and her family home to get the money.
Was that all the money that you have? You have no money left.
I want this reporter to ball up her fist and just punch her right in the face as hard as she can.
I was like,
Your retirement, everything gone?
Fucking hey, dude, come on.
so I don't know.
Oh, I'd
With
be
her
crying
life
too.
saved-
I would, okay. This woman obviously must be a strong woman. I'll give her that. I mean, she's dumb as shit, but she's obviously very strong. Because had I given away, if this were me and I gave away $1,000, I'd throw myself out of the tallest building in town.
Savings now in his pocket. The man told Sandy he was boarding a flight to her. Then his account disappeared.
It's just everything in my life it's just gone. I've never
She looks like the bad guy in Ghostbusters 2. That like it was a painting and then it came to life.
been so sick about anything in my life.
Now, according to the Federal Trade Commission, romance scams just like this one are on the rise nationwide. They say that in 2022, nearly 70,000 people reported falling victim to one.
Is this something that you've heard of before?
Local sheriff.
Sadly, a lot.
The Oakland County Sheriff's Department is investigating Sandy's case. Sheriff Bouchard tells me these scams are often targeted and come from overseas. The criminals searching for older individuals who have lost their life partners.
As soon as the obituaries in the paper, they'll start contacting a widow.
Is there anything that can be done to get your money back after
If
you've
you have a
sent it?
loved one who, like if you got mom and dad passes away or mom passes away, make sure that obituary does not show up on any online source somehow, if that's possible.
Well, a lot of times these are offshore, and in many cases they're with countries in which we don't have a treaty.
Bouchard says it is impossible to know how many people this has happened to because victims are so embarrassed that they won't come forward. The cash company that bought Sandy's home will be kicking her and her son out on Thursday. Because victims are so embarrassed that they won't come forward. The cash company that bought Sandy's home will be kicking her and her son out on Thursday.
Where will you go?
We have no place to go. 40 years of my parents' things will be in the street. And all our belongings. If we lose this house, it's the only house we have.
I can honestly say that this is the most sad thing I have ever seen in my life. Okay? This makes 9/11 look like Disney World. Okay? My God. What the fuck?
She's trying to find the money to buy her home back, but Sandy gave every cent she has away. All she has left is this little bit of courage to share her indescribable loss in hopes that it saves someone else's future.
Just been a nightmare and I can't wake up from.
Sandy has created a GoFundMe as she works to find the money to stay in her home or find somewhere else for her and her son to live. But she tells me they really want to stay in their home. I've put all the information with this article on WXYZ.com. In the newsroom, Sarah Michaels, 7 News Detroit.
Wow, that is just heartbreaking. Thank you so much, Sarah. And this was such a horrible situation. We wanted to learn more about how you can protect yourself from romance scams like this one. The FBI says be careful what you post online to make public. Scammers can use that information to better understand it.
I don't care about this shit. You guys better not fall for this. This is the GoFundMe. Since this morning, because I checked it this morning, $35 has rolled in. This is not going to work. She wants to raise $400,000, and she's raised $1,845. 0% of the goal. The only way this is going to work is if some rich bastard who may happen to be listening or watching or finds out about this story. And don't forget, this was seen all over Metro Detroit. Millions of people live there. And only $1,845 has been raised. I feel terrible for this lady, but I don't see how there's a way out of this, right? My God. And I also think that there's a level of people want to kick her ass for being so dumb. I think that there's that too. That's going to hurt her. You know? I think that, oh God. Yoda World says, I'm torn. I don't think she deserves a free house for having a bad run in life. That's most people. Badger says it's called retardation. And then the fact that she had, well, the house, was probably worth $350 to $400. She probably didn't have a lot of money saved up, but the house has value. But I don't understand how someone can be this fucked up. My God. Corey says it's not a bad run at life. She made incredibly stupid series of choices. Starman says her son is quote unquote special needs. Where do you think he got it from? Bob suggests that the scammer was Tophus, our very own Tophus. Rebecca says, I swear people go out of their way to ignore the warnings about these scams. Piano Fingerbanger says she could always start an OnlyFans account. Are you guys suggesting that the only way that this could turn out is for her to put the barrel of a shotgun in her mouth? Is that what you are suggesting? Because that's horrible. Cole says, don't give her any GoFundMe money. She'll just give it to the next scammer. Stevie says, I'm so glad I'm off Facebook. No, Facebook's great. Are you kidding me? Why would you not be off Facebook, you idiot? You miss out on this great shit. Yeah, I don't think that The Office has The Office. I don't think this chat. Why did I say The Office? I don't think the chat has any support for this lady. I think they kind of hate her. Tyler says at least she's still got her youth and good looks. Badger says try to reach out to her easy. No, I don't want to talk to this bitch. Fuck that shit. Get rid of your phone. That's costing you money, this suggestion. Oh, my God. Tim says this sounds like the movie called The Beekeeper. Never saw it. I don't know. E-Rock says, I've got a channel for you to watch. They go after these scammers, track them down, and get money back for the old people that they scammed. Yoda World says that she'll think Easy loves her and will give him all of her GoFundMe money. Wow, this is like desperately sad. Man, thank you to Patrick Doyle sending that one along. He wrote the note with it. Folks on the wrong side of the hard living line doing what hard living line people do. But that isn't really on the wrong side of the hard living line. Oxford, Michigan is a nice neck of the woods. Maybe there's a bad part. I don't know. But I would say that this story of this woman this means that the second saddest story in Oxford, Michigan, is that mass shooting at the school. This is right here the saddest story in Oxford, Michigan. This old lady giving all her stupid money away. God, I feel bad, but I'm not going to feel bad the second I'm done talking about it. I just can't imagine how desperate this woman is. What a fucking crazy scenario. Jesus. Who do you think's got it worse? This lady or this driver in China? I'm sorry, not China. Seoul, South Korea. Similar, but not China. The guy's driving along the road on his motorcycle. And an unbelievable sinkhole opens, giving him no opportunity for him to avoid. And he goes down 65 fucking feet. I have the video of this. Let's check it out. Get the fuck out of here. I'm impressed that the car made it through. But the thing was full of water. He had no idea. And they found his body after like a day and a half. He was underwater. They had to pump all the water out. But what a fucking catastrophe. Unclear at the moment what caused the sinkhole. That is wild. Rebecca says this is nightmare fuel. Duke writes, you need to cuss more. It's so cool and edgy. And then writes, talk slower, fucktard. Thanks. I appreciate that. Welcome to the show. I think you're following, so that's nice. Jeremy says, was he okay? Yoda World says, cut corners in construction until you get a circle or a sinkhole in this case. Yeah, that's nuts. To be driving along and then your world changes dramatically. That happened to the governor of Texas. I forget the guy's name. What is his name? Governor Abbott. The governor of Texas, there's a reason why I'm talking about this. It wasn't a sinkhole, but he's the guy who's in the wheelchair. The governor of Texas, Governor Abbott. And hold on. This is just distracting me, and it's making me laugh. This Duke person or chick says, all caps, not following your old hack cringe ass. Excellent. You called wrestlers and their fans dumb and that they should join the armed forces. Oh, now it makes sense. All right, a little bit of background on this. Yesterday, on Who Are These Broadcasters, we were watching the clip of the big upset in the amateur wrestling thing. And I started to go down the road of talking about this is stupid, wrestling's boring, and whatever. My stupid take. And that was one thing. And then I made the suggestion, which you all have heard many times before, that anyone who joins the military is stupid. Which you've all heard that 1,000 times. And then there was one person on there who gave $2, which that's a super chat, so we usually post the super chats. And so it said, you must retract what you said about veterans and wrestlers. And then I doubled down and said, no, I'm not doing that. And then that was the end of that. So then that's kind of like developed now. So now people are coming out of the woodwork, probably the same dummy, showing up here to go down the road of bringing it up in front of this group. Duke says not WWE wrestling, college wrestling. Who cares what wrestling? Who gives a fuck? It's all stupid. So what? So are you telling me that this is what's going to occupy your time now because some old fuck on a podcast that nobody gives a shit about made one comment, and here you are demanding retractions and screaming at me and saying, I'm not going to give you $2 until you say you're sorry. You fucking moron. You know how stupid that would make me look? If I said, I'm sorry if I offended anybody, you got offended by my comment. You dumb fuck. My God. E-Rock says, who cares about college wrestling? Who cares about anything? Who gives a fuck? Who cares about me talking about what I don't care about? You stupid asshole. I have noticed this about some of the folks in the Dabbleverse. They will love you until you say something that affects them and hurts their feelings. All right? And a lot of those people that would behave that way, not all of them, but there's a loud minority of people who, they're LARPers, they got neck beards, they do not have sex because no women would go near them. They're about 98% body fat, morbidly obese, gross, have not been on a date, can't see their cocks, all that shit. And you say one thing that rubs them the wrong way, and they're, I'm mad. You gotta say you're sorry, you stupid pussy. My God. Well, you're in the wrong room for this because all these people know exactly what they're getting into when it comes to what I say and do. So you're not going to find any sympathy here. Your best bet is to start a letter writing campaign into who are these podcasts. There might be some like-minded people like your retarded ass who might facilitate you in this boring effort of yours. Clearly, you don't have a job or anything that occupies your time in a constructive way, you fucking idiot. E-Rock says college wrestling only means something to the kids involved because it can benefit them in college or move to higher levels in their sport. That's it. Same with college football. Duke says you have 42 fans watching. I know. That's what I told you. The fact that you would come in here into this little microcosm of reality and try to knock me down a peg. You idiot. My God. I'm just glad you're here. Thank you so much. Oh, my God. You sure got into a tizzy by my comments yesterday. Oh, no. Oh, Easy made fun of veterans. He made a joke about veterans. Ooh. Oh, no. I'm so sad. Does your daughter cuss this much? Who gives a shit about cussing? What the fuck? Would you grow up? E-Rock says $10 says that Duke here is actually Christian Blatt. Oh, can you imagine? All right. Well, I'm bored of you. So you can enjoy yourself and have a good time around here, but I'm gonna give up talking to you right now because I've got more important things to take care of. All right. Where was I? Governor Abbott of Texas, he's the Republican I don't remember. I remember him. The last thing I remember about Governor Abbott, he was the guy that was sending immigrants to Democrats' houses and dropping them off via bus and shit like that. You know how it was back then, however many months ago that was going on. Jasmine Crockett is a congressperson from Texas, and she's the one who told Elon Musk to go fuck himself. She's not afraid to say whatever the fuck is on her mind. I like that about her. I don't care about the politics portion of it. What I love in this clip is she's saying something mean about Abbott because he's in a wheelchair. He did not fall into a sinkhole, but when he was 26, he was running. He was like taking a jog. And I'm not shitting you. Excuse me. An oak tree fell on him, crushed his spine. So he was all fucked up. And so he's been in a wheelchair ever since. Governor of Texas, great. This chick is speaking towards she had home field advantage in this, speaking towards some a liberal group, human rights campaign or whatever. And she made a crack about the governor of Texas. And various Republicans are losing their shit, saying she can't do that. She can't say mean things about him because he's in a wheelchair. This is what she said.
Because we in these hot-ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now.
She referred to him as Governor Hot Wheels. I guess because he's in a wheelchair?
And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot-ass mess, honey. So yes.
Okay, now these are horrible jokes. This is stupid. I mean, if you're going to say something about a person who's in a wheelchair, you can do so much better. I mean, because even if you say a lame joke about dude in wheelchair, the same amount of people are going to be offended. So you got to make it a good joke. Okay? You can't, I mean, you should make a joke about how an oak tree fell on him or something. You can do it. You can take this in one of about 100 directions, but this is not it.
Because we in these hot-ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot-ass mess, honey.
She's getting a big pop on this. You know, I'll say this about the Dems. It doesn't take a lot to make these morons laugh. Yoda World says it's a little funny that she's doing it at the Human Rights Campaign podium. I'll give her that. No, that's true. That is funny. She is trying to pull off a sassy black chick is what I think she's trying to do. And I think that's fair. I mean, if you've got the whole sassy thing and the hair flip and the long eyelashes and you're kind of cute, you might be able to pull that off. And she's got the home cooking, so they're going to react appropriately. Let me just say this. The only problem I have with this is the quality of the jokes. She's got to go harder in the paint on this guy. And I don't want to hear anything from any Republicans saying, "Oh, this is so terrible. Oh my God, you're making fun of a guy who's in a wheelchair who had an oak tree fell on him." Yeah, who gives a shit? I don't give a fuck about that. I love that. I live for that. You got to cut deeper. Governor Hot Wheels is not going to do it. So I don't have a problem with any of it. Tyler says joke writing C-, delivery B+. Delivery was fine. E-Rock says Eric should turn on the sassy black chick on tomorrow's show. Boy, I couldn't pull that off in a million years. Matt Peak says this bitch is why Doge got rid of DEI. That sounds racist to me. It sounds racist and a little bit gross, Matt. E-Rock says Governor Hot Wheels is not an insult. It's actually good branding. It's a good branding opportunity for him. Well, whatever. That is, I wouldn't be surprised if Jasmine Crockett here is going to turn into a darling in the party. The whole party has no one right now. The party is still licking their wounds from the ass kicking that happened in the last election. Everybody knows that. And now here we are. That was what, November? When that happened. So you got January, February, March, November, December, January, 4 months. That means, because when you're like 2 years out from the election, you better have an idea as to who is going to be running on the Democratic side of things. So now you're down to a year and 8 months. And I don't know who that they would even lean on if they have any possible candidates who they could feature as someone to run for that position. All right. I want to thank my sponsors that help make this show a possibility. Adam Kasari, if you are in West Michigan, is the realtor of choice. You can reach Adam, at 616-914-4061. 616, I don't know what my problem is. 914-4061. A fantastic realtor and a fantastic race car driver. You will see him at Berlin Raceway this year with the Eric Zane Show podcast logo on the roof of his vehicle in the limited late model division, traveling at high speeds around the track. 616-914-4061. If you are looking at buying or selling your home, that is 616-914-4061 for Adam Kasari Realty, or look him up on Facebook, ADAMCASARI, Adam Kasari. Paintball in West Michigan, TC Paintball, great place to have a great time. Gather up your friends, gather up the co-workers, maybe some workplace team building. The kids, your kids' pals, the neighborhood kids, whatever it may be. Wednesdays, there is a youth league. Some young people are a little bit intimidated by paintball because that thing comes flying in pretty damn fast and it can sting. So break them in by using the low-impact weaponry at TC Paintball. Doesn't hurt. And then the kids enjoy paintball that way. TCPaintballGR.com. That's TCPaintballGR.com. Jeremy comes up with a slug line for the realtor, Adam Kasari. You won't be sorry if you go with Kasari. I think that's alliteration and not rhyme. Rhyme might work better. Let's see. Cole, who is a tried and true Republican, says they should run Tampon Timmy. That's the guy that put tampons into the boys' bathrooms. I loved that move, by the way. They should do more of that. Chris says they're already leaning towards Bernie and AOC. E-Rock says that ticket would do even worse than Harris and Tim Walz. Piano Fingerbanger says Bernie's 84. There's no way he's running. I agree. I don't want an old man running. Sanders may not live to be even to the year 28. Dems have to really find new diamonds in the rough if they want a chance at anything. By the way, we talked a lot of politics yesterday on who are these broadcasters, Christian, Blatt, and myself. If you like to hear and see the clips, especially of Trump, including the business of how the war plans were being discussed on the silly app, and the guy from The Atlantic, the editor-in-chief, was included in that, in those war plans, which now they're saying, like Pete Hegseth said, oh, yeah, and he's trying to discredit the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, and Trump was too, saying, oh, yeah, that's a shit show. You can't trust anything that they say. But then the White House says it was merely a glitch. Well, what is it? Was it the guy from The Atlantic is lying, or it was a glitch? Or I don't know why it's so hard to tell the truth. I think it actually would be refreshing if somebody in the White House said, oh, yeah, we accidentally added that fucker to the text chain. He's a piece of shit. That was a mistake on our part. Sorry about that. And then move on. Why is that so fucking hard? Like it fucking matters. Who gives a shit? One guy saw that we were going to blow up a bunch of assholes that everybody wants us to blow up. Not a big deal. If we didn't have a big deal, okay, if we did not make a big deal about Clinton and all those emails, then this is not a big deal. You can't. I want it to happen more. I think every American should know that we're about to blow up a country. Like every American on their phone, kind of like you get an Amber Alert, we all get the same goddamn text just as the dude hits the fucking button on the weaponry that blows everybody up in Yemen. Hey, this just happened. Ha ha. You can live stream it. Watch it live. E-Rock throws this in with, I still think that quote-unquote accidental text was planned. Maybe. It's a way to mix things up. I don't know why what the motivation for that would be. Like it matters. You know, right now the only thing that's going on, maybe it's to get people out of lighting Teslas on fire or something like that. Which that might be the most ridiculous thing. By the way, I saw a meme yesterday, which I tried to punch a hole into it and think, oh, this is bullshit. But it was two guys sitting at a bar, and the text said, and they look like hill jacks. They look like Trump voters. And it said, Trump voters or Republicans don't like Bud Light and what they did with having a transgender person on the can, so they stopped drinking Bud Light. Democrats don't like Tesla, so they burn it the fuck down. Yeah, talk your way out of that one, Dems. You fucking idiots. All right, that is Act 1 of the podcast. Act 2 is available right after this one. Go check it out. What are you doing? Don't miss a second of it. Thank you so much.